35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the...
Welcome back to technically the second episode of the Ian Fritz Show, but what is this, episode 10, episode 8 of the overall season. We're rolling. We're doing pretty good, guys. I'm enjoying myself. Hopefully, and I think you are. I've received great feedback from the YouTube community, the Twitter community. I love what we're building here at the Ian Fritz Show. It's a fun time. It's a blast. I'm enjoying it. You guys are enjoying it. We're all having a good time. How can you not have a good time when you're watching college football, when you're taking in all the sports, when you're taking in the action? And that's what we do here at the Ian Fritz Show. We take in the action, we talk about it, and we put our thoughts out there. That's all this is. That's what we do. That's what I do. I receive some thoughts from you, and I try to improve, okay? And, that's the best we can do. Nothing's going to be perfect, but, we try. We try here at the Ian Fritz Show, and I'm giving it my best effort. We, as a whole group, as a whole show, are giving it our best effort, and we're enjoying ourselves. And as you can see, there's been a few changes to the set. We've upgraded water. We've got a bigger jar, mason jar, and we've also got a straw. See that? We're moving right along here. As you guys can see, we've got 3 muffins. As you know, this is a Week 5 preview, college football Week 5 preview based upon the thumbnail you guys have seen. What we're going to be talking about. Maybe a couple guys over here, maybe some muffins. Who knows? Thumbnails are good. We've got muffins. We've got an agenda. Again, says agenda on these fancy little pieces of paper over here. On the agenda, what do we have? It'll be over here. We've got games to watch. We've got maybe possible stud muffins for Week 5. And we've also got our picks for Week 5, okay? So, let's just get right into it. See what we're going to see and talk about what we're going to talk about. Get right into it. Agenda. First thing on the agenda, the games to watch. All right? I've got a few games I want to talk about for Week 5. Week 5, sneaky good week. Not as loaded as Week 4. Sneaky good week, though. What do we have? Six top 25 matchups in Week 4? We've got four top 25 matchups in Week 5. It's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy myself watching these games. It's going to be fun. First one I want to talk about, number 11 Notre Dame at number 17 Duke, okay? If you remember from the Week 4 recap video, I talked about the Notre Dame-Ohio State game. I did. I talked about it. Notre Dame's defense, legit. Ohio State's defense, legit. Bunch of dudes on both sides of the ball over there at that game. We learned Ohio State, very good football team. We also learned Notre Dame, very good football team. Some were saying, and I was one of these people, that Notre Dame probably should have won that game. They probably should have won that game. And you're sitting there watching this video like, Ian, it doesn't matter. They lost. And you're right. Absolutely, you're right. Doesn't matter. They lost. Moving on. This week, another tough matchup for the Fighting Irish. That was their mascot. Another tough matchup for the Fighting Irish at Duke, okay? And Duke, coming out of nowhere this year, not. Because if you remember from last year, kind of a rebuilding year for that program, from the historic amount of bad football they've played in their lifetimes over there at Duke. 8-4 season last year. Could have been 9-3. Can't remember exactly, but nobody was talking about Duke last year. 8-4 is a good season for the Blue Devils, okay? But this year, 4-0. They're moving right along. Already beat Clemson. And ever since then, they've rolled their opponents. I mean, they've rolled over them. When people are doing road work, that roller, that's what Duke's doing to their opponents right now, okay? Notre Dame coming off a loss. 2 weeks in a row, Notre Dame is playing in the biggest game of the weekend. Yeah, I think this is the biggest game of the weekend. Now, some could say maybe Georgia going down to Auburn's the biggest game of the weekend. Maybe USC going up to Colorado's the biggest game of the weekend. Maybe Ole Miss LSU's the biggest game of the weekend. Maybe the Florida-Kentucky game. Who knows? I know. It's Notre Dame Duke. This is going to be the best game of the weekend. It's going to be entertaining, going to be fun to watch for a few things. Let's talk about a few things for Notre Dame. They've already lost once, Ohio State. Now, we got to talk about them in the playoff picture, okay? They don't play in a conference, right? So they don't have the opportunity to lose a couple games, make a conference championship game and win that and get into the playoffs. They don't have that opportunity. Now, the schedule they're playing, though, if they lose 2 games and chaos happens around college football, which this year it's shaping up to be that way. College football, who's the best team? Are there elite teams? We don't know yet. But Notre Dame, they got a tough schedule here, guys. Tough schedule. Let's talk about it. Let's look at it. What's their path to the playoff? Well, it starts this week at Duke. It does. They already got the loss, Ohio State. Now, you can't fault them too much. I mean, they easily could have won that game. They lost on the last play of the game. Now, are people going to fault them too much for that loss? Probably not. Ohio State's a very good football team. Number 1 in the what-if poll. Notre Dame's number 4 still. We like them. They lost to Ohio State. Okay, all right. Moving along. Duke this week. We're talking about it. Big-time game. Duke's a legit football team. It doesn't get any easier for Notre Dame in the next few weeks. Listen to this. Okay? Next weekend, they are at Louisville Cardinals. Okay? Louisville. Nobody's even talking about them right now. I haven't heard a word about Louisville, except I have, but probably you guys haven't because I haven't talked about them on the show. And as your local show for the college football world, I'm sorry for failing you. Louisville, 4-0. They're playing some good football right now. They're going to be rocking when Notre Dame comes to town. A huge brand like Notre Dame, you don't think the Louisville Cardinals are going to be fired up? I think they're going to be fired up. Huge game this weekend. Duke, Ohio State. You got Ohio State, Duke, Louisville. And then 2 weeks from this Saturday, Notre Dame, they get the Trojans. 2 blue bloods, 2 powerhouse football teams in the history of college football. Let me tell you, that's going to be the game of the weekend. I don't care what people are saying about USC's defense, whatever. That game, that is going to be, we may have to take a trip to that game here at the Ian Fritz Show. We may have to go to that game on October 14th. And then they get Pitt, all right, a little week off. Well, they go bye and then a little week off with Pitt. Pitt's no good. But then they have Clemson. So these next 5 weeks for Notre Dame are no cakewalk. They legitimately, you probably want to go undefeated the rest of the year if you're Notre Dame to make the playoff. You would think that's the only way you can get in if everybody else does what they have to do. And I don't know. Those are some sneaky games. Louisville, Clemson. Clemson's not a bad football team, guys. I know I said they were earlier in the year. They're not. Notre Dame's very tough schedule. What's their path to the playoff? It starts this week at Duke. They got to take care of business. Going to be a tough environment. Duke's going to be rocking. You don't think Duke's going to be rocking? This is the best football team they've had in their lifetime. And they got Notre Dame coming to town, blue blood, powerhouse college football team. They got them coming to town, 5.5-point underdogs. What are the Duke Blue Devils going to do? Notre Dame needs to right the ship. They need to get things going. And they need to start rolling right now because they've got a tough few weeks ahead of them. And they got their sights set on a national championship up there. I don't know if I can see a path for them in the national championship. They got a tough schedule. They've already dropped 1. Maybe if they beat Ohio State, I'd feel a little more confident. But right now, I don't see it for Notre Dame. Obviously, I see the path. They just went out and they're in. I think they're in if they win out. But I don't see them winning out. Too tough schedule. It's a tough schedule. I don't see it. This game, Duke, Notre Dame, massive game. Duke. What else can we say about Duke? Beat Clemson in week 1, shocked the world. And then they started rolling opponents in the subsequent weeks. Good for Duke. Can they get 2 absolutely massive wins? Just 2 of the biggest wins in college football this year if Duke wins this game versus Notre Dame. Now, what does it look like? How can they win this game? How can Duke beat Notre Dame? Number 1, got to take a sip before I get into this. New straw. Oh, that's nice. That's nice with the straw, guys. You guys should try drinking out of a straw more often, okay? What's Duke's game plan here this weekend? Well, number 1, doesn't have anything to do with the game plan. It has to do with the crowd. It has to do with the environment. those fans at Duke, they need to be jumping up and down. They need to be screaming the entire game. Because what we saw from Notre Dame, very good defense, very good run game, okay? And if they can have those two things going on the road in a hostile environment, that's what you need to win. Notre Dame has the skills and everything to win this game. They do. Everybody knows that. It's Notre Dame. But they have a defense and a run game. That's what you need on the road. Slows the game down. That's what you need on the road. Notre Dame has it. So Duke, if they can keep their crowd noise up, they can keep that environment rocking, mess with Notre Dame a little bit, that's one way. The next way, Riley Leonard, their quarterback, he's going to have a good game. Running the ball, throwing the ball, I don't care what it looks like, he's going to have a good game. Line of scrimmage, going to be a huge point. Everybody knows Notre Dame's offensive line is big time. It's always big time. Everybody there knows that. Huge dudes, bunch of guys, bunch of dudes, okay? Duke, can they get any pressure? Can they not win at the line of scrimmage, but can they not lose at the line of scrimmage? Okay, that's all Duke needs to do. They just need to play it even at the line of scrimmage, and I like Duke's chances. Home field advantage, I like it. Those are a couple things Duke needs to do to win this football game, okay? This would show us if Duke can really hang with the big-time football teams this year. If Duke can go out there, maybe not even win the game, but play Notre Dame close, if they can just play them close, you're going to have people saying Duke is a real football team. I think they're a real football team right now. I think they're a very real football team, okay? But if they can go play Notre Dame close, give it a close game, maybe even win, if they win, woo! Duke's vaulting up in the top 10. Top 10. Can they win? We'll see. We'll get into my pick for this game later. All right. Second game I want to talk about. Friday night game. Got to take a sip. Oh, straws, man. Revolutionary concept, whoever invented the straw. Okay. Number 10, Utah at number 19, Oregon State. Friday night game. Okay, so depending on when you watch this game may be over. I don't know. Going to be a fun game. Pac-12 game. We're in conference play. Unless you're Notre Dame. We're in conference play. Utah, Oregon State. I talked about it in the recap show. The Pac-12 was awesome. Who doesn't want to watch the Pac-12 right now? Nobody. Everybody wants to watch the Pac-12. I do. I'm staying up late on Saturdays for the Pac-12. Except this one's on Friday. Friday night game. Oregon State. Personally, I love Friday night games. It gives us college football an extra day. We get to watch college football a day early. People complain about that. They're like, well, you should be playing college football on Fridays. It's a Saturday thing. No. Get out of here with that nonsense. Friday night college football? Woo! Doesn't get any better than this. Guys. Gonna be a fun game. As we know, Oregon State lost up in Pullman, Washington. Washington State beat it down, put it down on them. Can they bounce back? Quintessential bounce back game for Oregon State here. Quintessential bounce back game. Okay, after a tough loss on the road, you head back home, short week. Utah coming off a slugfest versus UCLA. Got to travel up to Oregon. Oregon State's favored in this game. Favored in this game, guys. I'll do that every once in a while. Favored in this game. 3.5, I think, is the line. We'll get into the pick later, but Oregon State's favored now. Does it have to do with home field advantage? It does. This is a sneaky game for Utah. Now, I have a feeling Cam Rising not going to play this weekend. And that's why the line is what it is. Because if he was playing, I don't think Oregon State has a chance in this game, to be honest with you. And maybe after this video is filmed, we know Cam Rising is playing and he's starting. Okay, so forget what I just said. But if he isn't playing, which I don't think he's gonna, word is, it's what my sources are telling me, he's not playing. And Utah's offense is on a bus. And it's not a good bus, guys. It's not the bus you want to be on. It's not a bus that everybody's like, let's go get on this bus. It's a great bus to be on. It's not a party bus. It's the opposite of a party bus. It's a struggle bus. Just chugging along. Just struggle bus, guys. 7 points last weekend. I know UCLA has a good defense. I gave props to UCLA's defense, okay? But 7 points? Are we sure? You can't score 7 points against Oregon State. However, you can if you're Utah. because Utah's defense is a machine, okay? Top 10 defense in the country. They're a machine. Defense is travel. Everybody knows this. Defense is travel. If Utah's defense travels up to Oregon State, I don't think Oregon State has a chance in this game. I don't. Now, the key for Utah is going to be slowing down that run game of the Beavers. Got a couple guys back there. Martinez, very good running back. Very good running back. If Utah can force DJ Uyunglele, I said it. If they can force DJU to throw the ball, now he's not a bad quarterback. Not a bad quarterback. But Oregon State their offense runs through the run game, okay? It functions through that run game. So if Utah can shut that down, make them one-dimensional, it's gonna be fun to watch. We'll see. I think Utah's got to shut that Oregon State run game down to shut that crowd up in Oregon State, make DJU start having to throw it, few incomplete passes. Utah gets going on offense. I don't know. I don't love Utah's offense without Cam Rising, but I love their defense. It's gonna be a fun game. I don't think it's gonna be super high scoring. Probably 24-21, 24-17 type of game is what I'm anticipating. I like that game. Gonna be a fun one to watch. Everybody watch it Friday night. Who doesn't love an extra day of college football? I sure do. Next game I want to talk about. Another Pac-12 game, and it may not be the one that you're thinking of. That's good. USC at Colorado, okay? And if you guys are like me, you're probably wondering, Ian, what in the world are you doing? Talking about Colorado after what they just did up in Eugene, Oregon? Not Eugene, Oregon. Is it Eugene, Oregon? I don't think so. I don't. Up in Oregon, whatever. Really? After that stinker, you're going to talk about USC, Colorado? Yeah, I am. Because, 1, Oregon has a defense. 2, USC doesn't have a defense. 3, Colorado, against poor defenses, has a very good offense. What does that show us? What do those three things add up to? You got A plus B plus C equals D. D is a high-scoring football game and a fun one to watch. It's going to be a 9 a.m. kickoff over there on the West Coast. USC, I don't even know if they're going to travel. I don't think USC fans travel to Colorado. I don't even think they get out of L.A. I don't know. I don't think they do. Lincoln Riley, okay? He was coach at Oklahoma for years. You guys know. I may or may not be affiliated with the University of Oklahoma. But I had him. I watched him closely for years. And this right here is a game that you come in, 21.5 point favorite. You come in and you poop the bed. You stink it up. It's smelling up in here, Lincoln. Yeah, it is. Because you're 21.5 point favorites versus the Buffaloes who just got their teeth kicked in. And you stink it up. Take it to double overtime, triple overtime. Who knows what it's going to be? I don't think it's going to double or triple overtime. Don't get me wrong. But Lincoln Riley's done this before. He did it last week. Didn't go to double or triple OT. But it was a game that shouldn't have been close, and it was close. That's what you do when you're a Lincoln Riley football team. Alex Grinch-led defense. That's what happens, okay? Very high-scoring game is what I'm anticipating. I think Shador gets it going again. Now, they may be down a couple. They're going to be down Travis Hunter, top wide receiver, top cornerback. They may be down Xavier Weaver. They may be down him, another top wide receiver that they have. And they may be down Horn, J.C. Horn, I think. They may be down him. So that's their top 3 wide receivers. Now, normally you would think this is not a recipe for success for the Colorado Buffaloes. And you would be right. However, they are playing one of the worst defenses known to humankind, okay? And when a good offense with a good quarterback gets in front of a bad defense, good things happen for that offense. I like a high-scoring game. We'll get into the pick later. I like a high-scoring game, USC, Colorado. I think it's going to be fun to watch. A lot of offense. You get to watch Caleb Williams. Probably going to win the Heisman again, unless a couple guys get ahead of him. But the man's amazing. The man's amazing. You got to give props. Caleb, you got to give props to him, okay? Very good football player. Next game I want to talk about. SEC matchup. Some of you may be thinking I'm going Georgia-Auburn. That could be a fun one down there. Auburn's always a tough place to play. No, I don't really care about that game. This is a game I care about. This is a game I want to watch. This is a game that gets me, ooh, here we go. Here we go. I'm not bringing the slouchy games to you guys. I'm bringing the games where, whoa, okay, all right, here we go. Here we go. The game is, say it with me, number 13 LSU at number 20 Ole Miss, okay? Storylines for this game. LSU, last weekend. Big-time favorites, at home, Death Valley, Arkansas. And I saw a stat about this Arkansas-LSU game, guys, after the game had happened. Now, if I knew it before the game had happened, I would have picked the game differently, okay? But I saw it after the game happened, okay? So, what did I see? Something like the last 5 or 6 games for LSU and Arkansas ended 3 points. 3-point difference in the last 5 or 6 games in that game, LSU-Arkansas. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, LSU, what do we know about them? What do we know about them? They got their teeth kicked in second half at Florida State. Okay? Boom, teeth kicked in. They win against a poor team second week. Third week, they get Mississippi State, probably the worst team in the SEC. Yeah, they're worse than Vanderbilt, I think. Okay? Mississippi State, statistically, one of the worst defenses in all of college football. All of college football. South Carolina just had a field day throwing the ball on them last weekend, okay? Mississippi State's just abysmal at football right now, guys, okay? That elevated LSU. That got people thinking LSU is some great super-duper football team. Then they go play Arkansas, who's not having a great year, and struggle, okay? So can LSU kind of right the ship? That was a ship, you know, those big wheels with those prongs or whatever they're called. Can they right the ship? Can LSU right the ship after a rough, rocky seas last week versus Arkansas? Can they get it going again? Can Jaden Daniels get some things firing on all cylinders on offense? Can he find his wide receivers? Can they get it going? Gonna be tough. Ole Miss is a good defense. Ole Miss is a good defense, guys. Now, Lane Kiffin, we got to talk. Me and you, one-on-one, buddy. Okay? Let me take a sip, because this is going to be a heart-to-heart, tough conversation we have to have. I love a straw, guys. Who knew? Who knew that would be such a good idea? I didn't. Lane Kiffin. Look, Lane. We've got to win a big game. We have to win a big game if you're going to continue to be big-time, talked about college football coach. You've got to win a big-time football game, okay? I don't remember you winning any big football games. In fact, I don't think you haven't. The history says, let's look it up. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, you haven't, okay? You haven't won a big football game. This is a huge football game. This is a program-defining football game. Yeah. I think it's that big for Ole Miss if they can win. Why? Couple things. Number one, LSU, huge brand in college football. Anytime you got a chance to beat one of those brands, and you do, you're going up. It's huge for a program. It would be huge for you, Lane. Okay? Huge for Lane. Going to be a national audience for this game. Everybody's got eyes. You know, whenever there's LSU, people are watching. Okay? LSU's a big-time brand. Okay? LSU, big-time brand. National audience. Huge game. Program-defining game. Ooh, that came in. I might have a paper cut there, guys. Number 3, if you win this game, if you lose this game, I should say, you're out of it for the SEC title, SEC championship game. You're out of it. I don't see a path back for you guys. I don't see a path back for you, Lane. That's why you got to get this win. That is why you have to get this win. If you get it, you've got some momentum. One, it eliminates LSU from this race. Number 2, you got momentum. You got momentum for the rest of SEC play. That's huge in football. Huge. Program-defining football game for Lane Kiffin if he wins. Program-defining win for Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss if he wins this football game. Huge game. Last game I want to talk about before we get into some possible muffins for this weekend, guys. Last game. Going to be a brief little talk, but I think it's going to be a fun game. We've got number 22, Florida, at Kentucky. Now, quietly, the Wildcats of Kentucky, undefeated this year. Who's talking about the Wildcats over there? Who's talking about Mark Stoops and the Wildcats? Nobody. Nobody's talking about them. Can they be talking about them after this week? I think they will be talking about them after this week, okay? You guys know I'm not that high on Florida right now, okay? Florida's kind of doing one of these. Well, started like this versus Utah, went back up against a bad team, going back up at Tennessee. We went pretty high after the Tennessee game. Now, we're back down. It's a mountain, okay? In the college football world, you want to upslope. You want to going up consistently. That's not what we have from Florida right now. We're doing this. We're like that. Do you like that? A little wave? We're doing the wave right now, Florida, okay? And not the good wave, the fun wave in the stadium. We're not doing that. We're doing a bumpy wave. You get seasick. Florida Gators getting me seasick right now, okay? I don't like it. I don't like being seasick. Give me some crackers. Florida, can we bounce back after that poor performance last week versus Charlotte? Can we bounce back? This would be a good win. It's no program-defining win or anything. Everybody knows that. But it's a big win. It's a good win. It's a good win. Kentucky's undefeated. They're playing good football. Haven't played anybody, but they're playing good football. You can't deny that. They're playing good football. Going to be a fun one to watch. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I like Florida's defensive line. I love it, actually. I think the defenses are going to dominate this game. I don't love Florida's offense. Let's see if they can run the ball. I think that's the way Florida wins, if they get the run game going. But get me off of this seasick ride, Florida. Get me off of it. I want out. I want back to that smooth, silky ride. You know, where you're just kind of like in a Rolls Royce. You know, whenever they drive over bumps, you don't even feel the bumps because the wheels move, but the car doesn't. That's a nice invention. Let's get that going for Florida Gators right now. Let's get it going for the Florida Gators. Florida at Kentucky. Fun game. Give you the pick later. All right. The best segment of the show. Everybody loves this segment. Everybody knows about it. World-renowned. World-renowned. All right. Let's get them in here. Number 1. We're doing possible certified stud muffins for week 5. I'm going to give you 3 guys, just like every week, that I think could get themselves the most prestigious award in all of college football. Yeah, more than the Heisman, more than any other award there is. It's right here. It's a certified stud muffin, okay? We gave out the first one ever last week. Congrats, Cameron Ward. Round of applause. Cameron Ward, you deserved it. Your name's etched in history. We've got a board coming in. Cameron Ward's going to be the number 1 name on that board. Who's going to join him? One name I think could join him. One name right here. Jalen Daniels. Now some of you are like, Jaden Daniels? LSU? Really? Ole Miss? Big game. But not Jaden Daniels. Jalen Daniels. Like Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels. Jalen Daniels. Okay? Jalen Daniels, Kansas quarterback. He's got the potential to shock the world this weekend. Kansas, undefeated. Number 24 team in the country. 23. I think they're 24 right now. Number 24 team in the country. What can Kansas do traveling to Austin? What can they do? They can shock the world. Jalen Daniels right here. This could be yours, my friend. Good muffin. Had one earlier. They're delicious. Just like usual. We don't make bad muffins here. We make good muffins here at the Ian Fritz Show. He's got the potential to shock the world. Dude is a very good quarterback. He can run. He can throw. He can do it all. He can fit it into tight windows. He can throw a deep ball. Okay? Jalen Daniels, very good quarterback. He was in the Heisman race last year until he got injured. Hurt his shoulder. No hurt shoulder this year for Jalen Daniels. Now, Texas, this is a huge game for Kansas. Now, Texas, everybody knows what's next week. Red River Showdown. OU. Could Texas be looking ahead a little bit? Might have little baby thoughts of trap game for Texas. Now, Jalen Daniels, you are the reason Kansas wins this football game. There's no other reason Kansas can win this football game other than Jalen Daniels having a certified stud muffin type of a game. That's why he's here. Next guy that can have a certified stud muffin type of a game, Spencer Rattler. Now, some of you are like, Spencer Rattler? Really? That guy? Yeah, that guy. Okay? They're going to play Tennessee this weekend. Going to Neyland Stadium. That place is going to be rocking. That place is always rocking. Neyland Stadium. Very good atmosphere. Spencer Rattler. Everybody knows this. Dude is not very good under pressure. However, the man had a certified stud muffin type of a first half when he went down to Georgia a few weeks ago. His first half, if he kept it up the whole game and beat Georgia, he would have had one of these coming his way. He would already have had one. But he didn't. He didn't keep it up. South Carolina lost. But if they can go there, go to Tennessee, win this game on the road, big-time game, good for Shane Beamer if they can get this done. Spencer Rattler, if you have yourself a day, which the only way South Carolina is winning football games right now is Spencer Rattler is having himself a day. If he can go there, have himself a day, I like Spencer Rattler in the South Carolina Gamecocks. Spencer Rattler, you might have a muffin coming your way depending on what you do this weekend. Let me know, everybody. Is Spencer Rattler going to get it done? Let me know. I think he can. Next guy. I talked about this game earlier. I mentioned this guy by name earlier. Say it with me. Riley Leonard. Duke quarterback. Now, you may be saying, Ian, enough with all these quarterbacks. This isn't the Heisman, not a quarterback award here. Not a quarterback. Well, okay. First of all, pipe it down. We're only 2 weeks into the Certified Stud Muffin Award, okay? And next week, I've already got one guy, not a quarterback, that's going to be on this watch list, okay? So pipe it down. We're doing 3 quarterbacks again this week because it's my show and that's what we do. Riley Leonard, this right here. This could get your name in history depending on what you do this weekend at home versus Notre Dame. You've got blue blood coming into town. If you run the ball well, if you don't turn it over, if you manage the game well, to be honest with you, you could be getting a muffin. Because that right there is a huge win. Huge win for that program and that football team. Riley Leonard, you may have yourself a muffin this weekend. We'll see. All right. 3 maybe possible certified stud muffins. We'll see. Jalen Daniels, Kansas. Riley Leonard, Duke. And Spencer Rattler, South Carolina. Let me know, guys, down below. Put it in the comments. I'll respond. Let's see who's going to be the certified stud muffin this weekend. Maybe, just like last week, maybe it's not even going to be one of these guys. Maybe it's not going to be one of those guys. Who knows? I don't know. That's why we watch the football games. All right. Last segment. We'll click it up here. We've got the picks for this week. I'm not going to go full in depth anymore. That's not what we do because it's not top 25 and 25 anymore. It's the Ian Fritz show. So I'm going to go through my picks and I'm going to tell you what I think about them. To be honest with you, this week, I don't love a lot of these games. Picking them. I think they're tough to pick. Georgia versus Auburn. Georgia going down to Auburn. 14.5 is the line right now. There's a lot of buzz about this game. One of the accounts on Twitter has a little in-depth analysis software where you can put in a couple teams, get the matchup rating. Georgia's favored barely. Now you're thinking, Auburn, really? Auburn? And I'm also one of the, Auburn, really? I don't like Auburn, but I like their home field advantage, and I don't love Georgia right now. They're number 9 in the what-if poll. Deservedly so. We like Auburn on this game. Minus 14.5. Give us Auburn. Give us the Tigers. Come on. Michigan at Nebraska. Minus 18. Now, you guys know a team that beat Nebraska by more than 18? Say it with me. Colorado Buffaloes. That was at home. Michigan's got to go on the road. I don't care. I like Michigan by more than 18 this weekend. I don't love them as a football team, but I really don't like Nebraska, okay? Give us Michigan, minus 18. Texas versus number 24, Kansas. Mentioned it earlier. We've got a potential stud muffin watch on this game. Minus 17 is the line. Texas, I think they're going to be looking ahead to OU. I think they're going to be looking ahead to that game. Give us Kansas plus 17, Give us Kansas plus 17. Penn State at Northwestern, minus 27. We love Penn State, hate Northwestern. We know this. Minus 27. Give us Penn State. So much so, we're going to lock that in, guys. Penn State, one of 5 or 6 teams in the country that's undefeated against the spread. Give us Penn State minus 27. We like that, baby. Lock it in. Another lock, number 7, Washington at Arizona, minus 18. Now, this line is baffling to me. I don't know how it's so low. Washington is rolling over opponents right now. Arizona's like a little cat, a little scaredy cat that you see, a stray cat, bare bones. That's what Arizona's like right now. Literally a wild cat. Give us Washington minus 18. They don't even need 18. They beat them by 30 this weekend. Lock it in. USC at Colorado. Now, I said this was a game to watch earlier. Minus 21's the spread. My gut is telling me USC. And what did I tell you guys last week? Go with your gut. Your heart's always wrong. Go with your gut. Okay, so I'm going with the gut here. Minus 21.5 for USC. We'll see. Utah at Oregon State. Utah plus 3.5 for this game. Give us Utah. Give us Utah plus 3.5. I like that. I like their defense. Love what they're doing. Give us Utah. Notre Dame at number 17 Duke. Minus 5.5. Now, Notre Dame coming off a tough game. Ohio State. I like Duke. Minus 5.5 or plus 5.5 at home. I like Duke. Give it to us, baby. Alabama at Mississippi State. Minus 14.5. I just told you how bad of a football team Mississippi State is. One of the worst football teams of all time. Jalen Milroe, one thing he can do, and that he's shown he can do against Texas last week against Ole Miss, he's got a deep ball. He's got a deep ball. Mississippi State can't stop the deep ball. Can't do it. I like Alabama. Minus 14.5. Lock it in. Lock it in. LSU at Ole Miss. LSU 2-point favorite. Minus 2. Give us Ole Miss. Give us Ole Miss plus the 2. I like Ole Miss plus the 2 at home. I think they win this game outright. I do. Oklahoma versus Iowa State. Minus 20 at home. Could be a trap game for the Sooners. Could be a trap game for the Sooners. However, I don't think it is. I think Brent Venables got those guys laser focused down there in Norman. I think they got them laser focused. Give us Oklahoma minus 20. Give it to us. Tennessee, South Carolina, minus 12.5. Give us South Carolina. Potential stud muffin watch on this game. Potential stud muffin watch. Spencer Rattler, plus 12.5. Give us the Gamecocks. Florida at Kentucky. Florida's the underdog in this game. Plus 2.5 for Florida. I don't care. I like Kentucky minus the 2.5. Give us Kentucky minus 2.5. Missouri at Vanderbilt, minus 13.5. Vanderbilt, no good. Missouri showing some signs of life. Give us Missouri minus 13.5. Last game, new into the top 25 this weekend, guys. Fresno State versus Nevada, minus 24.5. Now, Fresno State, undefeated. Nevada, the opposite of undefeated. Defeated. They haven't won a game. In fact, they are the worst team in college football. Give us Fresno State minus 24.5. We love it. Now, just some interesting thoughts about a couple just of the games this weekend, guys. So, Ohio State, Florida State on a bye this week. North Carolina, Washington State on a bye this week. And Miami also on a bye this week. We've got 16 games I just picked. 10 of the 12 top 14 teams, because 2 of them aren't playing, 10 of the 12 top 14 teams are on the road. They're on the road this weekend. They're traveling. What does that mean? That means one of them's going to lose. Odds are one of those teams loses this weekend. Who is it? I don't know. I don't know who it is. My pick was Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame loses this weekend. But it could be. It could be USC. It could be. I don't think it's going to be Oregon, Penn State, or Washington. But it could be Michigan. Maybe it's LSU. Maybe it's Alabama. Who knows? Who knows? Going to be fun to watch. 10 of the top 12 teams traveling on the road. Going to be fun to watch. Those are the picks. That's the show for tonight. Week 5 preview. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below who your stud muffin for this weekend could be. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'm enjoying it. You're enjoying it. We're having a good time here at the Ian Fritz Show. Couple weeks here, we might be going to the Notre Dame USC game. We'll see. All right, I love you guys. See you next week for the recap, and we'll see how we did. See you in the next one.